What's up, fellas? Welcome back to another one. So, time's been dragging, fellas. Time's been dragging. So, I shouldn't say time's been dragging. Time's been flying. I've been dragging. Well, basically, what's been going on is I ain't worked on this car. I have had zero motivation. It's too hot. I've just been very tired, but I'm trying to truck through it. I got a little bit of things done on my 40. Upgraded the air ride. It's not really a big difference. I don't know what's going on with it, but on the other hand, guys, I'm just still here working on the Monte Carlo. I still got to do this quarter and that lower piece, little edges and stuff on the trunk. Just a lot of things I got to work out. This top here has a lot of like trash in it, and to this day I don't know if it's trash or if it is solvent pop, but it's weird because it only is on the top of the car, nothing on the sides, just on the top surfaces. So that's trash for sure. But you see all those little tiny spots? It either has to do with the metallics, the way they laid out, or it's solvent pop, or both. I don't know. I'm not a freaking professional painter. I paint in my garage for fun. So there are little craters that I can fill, but I can't tell if it's the way the metallic laid out or if it's just solvent pop. This car had a lot of metallic in it, and I don't know. So it doesn't look bad. You don't really see it, but I can see it. And the issue I'm having is I'm just tired, dude. I want this car out of here, but I'm just kind of, I just don't give a fuck. Be honest with you, I'm tired. So I'm still sanding it. I'm almost done with it. I got almost 95% of the car done. Like I said, all I'm lacking is this quarter and that little piece in the back. There's minor things left, like really minor, dude. Like in here, but I'm gonna mask this lip off. But I'm gonna mask it off right behind this lip. That way I still get some paint in here. And there's not a really hard line that's visible. Let's see, what else? I mean, that's pretty much it. I've just started up here again, and I'm just working out all the little imperfections all the way through, and I'm going to just continue all the way back. Then I'll do the other side, and then I'll finish off the little pieces like this front here, and the sides, insides of the hood on the edge. I'm going to just add a little bit of paint back in there. But for the most part, I got, like I said, like 95% of the solvent pop out. You still see a lot of little tiny, but it's so fine. I don't think it's going to be a big deal because I am going to throw a control coat over this hood just to help it out, because it does have a lot of light streaking to it. So I'm going to lightly dust just a little bit of color on it over a wet bed, and leave it alone. I'm going to wet bed it, spray the color, clear the whole car, probably a good 3 coats of clear if I can get 3. I'll knock out 3 coats, and go from there. What else? Got this rail here, just a little bit of the door top still need to be worked out. For the most part, guys, it's not bad. Like, there's a good piece of trash I need to move out. That one there. You know, it's very, very time consuming. I'm just being lazy. Really freaking lazy, bro. I've kind of just started quitting, dude. Like, I'm just tired. So I've had another issue again that arose that really pisses me off because I have fixed it 3 times now. 3 times, guys. Door spring. Door spring popped on me at the beginning of time. I replaced it, popped on me again, replaced it, popped on me again. So this little nub, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's stripped out. And that's exactly how the other one looked. So at some point, somewhere, this arm on this wheel has to be binding. And I'm not exactly sure why. So I went ahead and I bought another pin, which will be my 4th pin. And I'm not exactly sure, guys, what's going on with it. So let me show you guys where I'm at. The door hinge pin right, this arm does have some play in it, but you can't really fix that play in this. So I don't know if it's just binding. It has to be. I mean, look at how much play it has at the end. Yeah, it could just be. It could just be. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter whether your hinge is this way, that way. I don't think that's the case of it binding. Because when I close it and open it, it kind of looks like it stays in the same position. So for whatever reason, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's binding. I mean, from closed. But I guess every time it clicks, clump, clump, clump all the way up, this thing could be jumping. You know? And then it eventually just pulls it out. It's the only thing I could think of, but I'm going to unloosen this and pop this out. But the issue that I have is I can put a new pin in here, and then I'm going to have to lightly airbrush this pin. I don't want to take the whole hinge off again. That's for damn sure. But I don't know if I should. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm not taking this door off. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm going to have to freaking hold this door up somehow with the jack. Pop this pin out and pop the new pin in it. And then I'm going to have to go back in and airbrush it just a little bit and then spray a little bit of clear on it later. But, yeah, I honestly think it's just this arm. Look how loose it is. And this arm, I don't think you can replace this arm. Because then you got to drill this out. I'm going to look into that. Because maybe that's exactly what it is. I don't know. So just 3 times, dude. It lasted, this last time, it lasted a good long time. This last time it lasted, you know, I opened that door maybe 30 times. And then all of a sudden one day, bang, again. And it's, oh, when you hear that, you piss me off, dude. And I'm just like, I'm freaking over it, bro. So let's take a peek at this side. Well, that one, obviously, I replaced these pins too on this side. These ones. And that one. And that one still seems to be doing alright. For whatever reason. That spring, the spring there holds this arm tight against this roller, where this roller lip holds that so it guides it. So I don't even understand how it would be doing that unless somehow I just didn't have the spring set right in there. Twice maybe, I don't know. I have no clue, dude. I'm not even sure. But I've messed with it. I don't know what I told the guy, the customer, you know, dude, your door spring is a piece of shit. And he told me to just buy another one and fix it again add it to the bill, and I'm just like, I don't want to add it to the bill, dude. Like, I'm tired, bro. I don't want this thing out of here, you know? But that kind of just discourages me, dude, to work. Like, I don't even want to work right now, dude. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I bet you. Let me see here. It can't be that. It doesn't make any sense at all. I'm not sure. They're both flat, but one is a lot flatter than the other one. Maybe it's just crooked. And I'm not sure. So much shit I can't even. Bet you it's just slipping off of this, like in this groove. Is there like a specific part of that groove that this has to like lock into? Because one goes down and one goes up. Maybe I'm putting it in there backwards, bro. Shit, I don't know. See that little groove right there? No, you don't. I'm talking to myself, that's why. I just don't know why it keeps popping out. I honestly think that, ooh, maybe it's the spring is bent, dude. Look at that sucker's not even straight, bro. It could be the spring is bent. I don't know. Let's see that shit. Kind of looks a little bowed. She looks a little bow-legged to me, Al. Looks arched on the top there. Look arched on the bottom there. You put it in like that. It's gonna push it up. Obviously, it was put in downward because the bottom half ain't painted. So if maybe I put it in this way this time, upward, it'd be different. Or maybe even sideways, like this. So it has a contour of the door opening in and out this way. How much you want to bet? That's probably what it is right there. That kind of looks more... I don't know. Let's try it this way. Bet you this spring just has its little way of sitting in there. I bet you that's it right there. I'm gonna do it like that. I'm gonna put this spring in contoured, because like obviously this spring pinches on this corner more than on the outer edge, because it looks, see how big the gap is, and then how big the gaps are on that side. This spring is bowed. I don't know if you can see it, but you can tell that it's always been pressed on this inner side. And I had this downward, which is compressing the spring at an angle this on this side, but it's used to being compressed on the inner side, so it's just going boing, it's squeezing itself out. So I bet you if I spin it where I didn't have paint, which was obviously the bottom, we'll put it sideways where it compresses in and out at an angle like it always has, then that's its weak spot. Because if you put it the opposite direction, it's going to have too much pressure and a weak spot on the other side, which could still make sense, but I don't want it to slip out that way. Huh. I don't know. Decisions. To me, I see the weak end of the spring when it closes. Maybe it does compress on the outer side. I don't know. Maybe we'll look at the other side and maybe we can figure out what direction this spring needs to be put in, because if it's already kind of hooked and you're putting it in this way, then when it squeezes it, it's just boing, popping out. I mean, that would make sense to me, but let's look at this one. Yep, see how that spring is contoured and the weaker side is on the inner portion of it? That's exactly how it's got to be. But you know what's crazy though? That spring looks like it is not too happy in there either, but it don't come out, which is good, so I'm going to leave it alone. But that inner piece there is headed upward and smashed up against that piece, which at that point on the opposite side it should probably be facing downward. Alright, like I told you, the weak side is facing in, and I bet you I just installed it wrong, because that's what it looks like according to the way this spring is bent. So here's the side that has no paint, and if I had it in there this way, it's going to force its way out. It needs to go in this way. The weak link and this out right here, which puts that in the exact same position like I said. Now that piece is facing down instead of up like on the other side. That's the position it needs to be right there. The painted, non-painted side needs to face me, and it's going to be compressed in this edges. And I bet you that'll soften this up to where this pin does not bind. And if it does, tough shit, because I ain't fixing it after that. So I also thought about drilling that out and tapping it and putting a longer bolt in it, and then having the roller through the bolt, so it's got a longer piece to grab, so it doesn't really like pressed in popping out, right? But I didn't want to drill and mess it up without having another pin, so I bought the new pin. I'll probably pop this new pin in here, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I knew there was something odd or weird about it. That's what it was, guys. That has to be what it is. So yeah, little things like that you just have to look at, that no one understands what's going on. But now that I actually looked at it and saw that there's like a weak side of that spring, guaranteed that spring was put in a different direction, and at that point it was giving the spring a tougher side to compress, and as the door was compressing, the other side was already weak. So as it was trying to compress it, it was just going boing and popping out. instead of it being flipped around, when it compresses, it's so used to always being compressed on that one side. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but obviously that's the way the spring came out, and I never looked at it. I just put it back in there and made it work, and it worked for a while. So yeah, it's just a stupid thing. I don't even know if you guys understand how these pins work or whatever, but they're very simple and they're very stupid. Hold on a minute. Of course, I can't even get my camera to damn, it's hotter than shit in this garage, dude. It's like 85 degrees in here. It's kind of another reason, guys, why I haven't been in a rush to spray. The humidity is still around 30, which is not bad, but the heat is what's killing me, and then the damn dryness. And to be honest with you guys, I didn't get slow reducers. I got mediums because usually somehow I end up painting in the damn winter time. And yeah, I don't really want to have to reorder all that shit, so I'm just kind of waiting. Here's the pin. This is what's popping itself out. And you can tell right there, it binds until the lip of that freaking piece goes under it, like wheeling back, and then just BAM! So, I just don't understand what else to do. I mean, you can see the binding on it, but I think the reason why it's binding the way it is because of that spring. So maybe if I move the spring, it'll work better. Just a thought, just a theory, I don't know. So here's the door pin, the pin. You just unbolt this sucker from here on the bottom with this Allen wrench. The whole pin just slides right out. We'll slide this sucker in, bolt it on there, and then we only got to airbrush a little bit of it. Alright guys, well, I'm an idiot. Anyway, I didn't even have to remove the door. I didn't even have to worry about the freaking hinge pin, because it has a separate pin. So this part just pops in and out, and it doesn't even affect the movement of the door. I'm an idiot. So I was all worried that the door was going to sag and I was going to be a big old mess. But as I took it out, which was kind of actually hard because getting that little Allen head from the bottom was not fun. But I got it out, and when it came out, everything was still fine. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's a pin in the door. I didn't even notice it. I didn't even snap, dude. Like, I guess it's just I'm tired, I don't know. But there's a pin right there. So this doesn't even affect it at all. I'm an idiot. So anyway, this slid right out. Simple. And there you go. Now, I figured out and understand exactly what happened. I did have the freaking spring in there wrong. Because you see how the spring ends and it's flat? Well, on this piece here on the door, there is a little bubble. And this flat part is what grabs against that bubble to hold it from freaking flinging out. Well, I had it the other way, so there was nothing grabbing the bubble. The spring was just sitting on there, but there it was basically like this. So as the door opened, it just eventually just wiggled its way out. Now this is on this side, and it's pushing against the bubble, like on this lip kind of, and it won't let it go out. So that should help it. Now, as for it binding on this roller and pushing this pin piece out, I don't know. Because that's kind of what happened. If it does it again, I think I know what else may solve that issue. If you can't replace this arm, I would definitely take this to a lathe and lathe this tapered piece, lathe it down just a little bit. And if you could just a little bit more, it'll let that bolt sink in farther. Well, if it sinks in farther, this arm bottoms out from its loose point. It bottoms out, and at that point it won't grab the lip of this bottom roller anymore because it's already bottomed out. So all it could do is literally be in the center of this. Now, is that the correct way to fix it? Probably not, but it'll probably work. But on the other hand, guys, I'm going to look into drilling this pin out here and seeing if they sell a replacement arm where I can just re-bolt this tight. I don't see why I couldn't put a bolt here. A small bolt with a little flathead bowl or a washer and make this tight where this has no play in it. I'm sure they have a kit. If they don't, you probably have to just buy a new hinge. But at least right now it's in. What I'm going to do, now that I know I can pull it in and out very easily, this is the hardest part, is getting this in there, pinching it down, and getting this piece back out of there. But guys, what I think I'm going to do, honestly, when I go to spray, I'm going to load the airbrush, I'm going to airbrush the pin and clear it, and then I'll just slide it back in there, bolt it back on, said done deal. But for right now, I'm going to leave it on there, and I'm going to let it be. And we're going to keep opening and closing this door and see if it works with that spring being in a different position. And by the time I get to painting, if it hasn't popped itself back out yet, well, then we're good. If it pops itself back out, then I will be taking, most likely, I'll have to find a friend that has a lathe, and like I said, I'm going to lathe that piece. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a bolt that goes through the roller, and I'm going to drill this out on the top side and as far down in there as I can, because it's pretty solid. I'm going to drill it out, I'm going to tap that thing, and then put the bolt through the roller and the bearing there. Bam. That way it's, you know what I mean? It'll be a lot stronger than this little pressed in piece that just don't work with the shit. So I almost wonder if I can weld. No, I don't want to weld a bolt to that. I'll just have to find a bolt that's threaded, and we may have to shave down, or it'll be fine, because that's, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, so that's what I'll have to do. Yep. Well, that's it for today with this thing. It's on there. Now let's just laugh and see if it pops right back out. Well, I'll be damned. I went out there and got my motorcycle jack to support the door and everything, and that was stupid when I didn't even realize, guys, that I didn't even need that. But I was all paranoid. I didn't even snap that these damn hinges had separate pins. But I should have, because the extra pins came in that kit. But I didn't even look at it. I was all paranoid thinking that was the main pin that held the door up. And when I pulled it out, I was like, God damn, if it's been that easy this long, I would have fixed it a long time ago, dude. I've been all stressed out about it. But, whatever. With that being said, for now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this little video of kind of an update. And we're going to go from there. I guess I'll kick this camera on when I go ahead and I wrap up that Monte Carlo, and then we'll move on to the 40 video. So thanks for listening, sticking around. I know we didn't really get any work done today, very minimal, but at least we tinkered with stuff like I've been doing, and it sucks, but it's happening. I'm still getting things done, just not like I want. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you sticking around, listening to me rant and gripe, bitch and moan, complain, and update you with everything that's going on. And we'll get back, start finishing up that Monte Carlo. Cool? Thank you for watching. Peace.